All right. Once again, guys, thank you guys again for showing back up to the channel to watch these videos. Really helps out this channel a lot. If you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can stay up to date with my videos. All right. So during this video, we're going to talk about a little bit about the Ravens and their Week 5 matchup with the Indianapolis Colts and their big comeback game in this win. So stay tuned. All right, so a lot of people are kind of trying to discredit the Ravens for their comeback win against the Colts, and rightfully so. You know, you guys have your opinion, but at the end of the day, every team that that's in the NFL, they're all professional teams, and with that being said. Teams can game plan for you. And you ever heard the term of trap game? There's a such thing of it. It's true. So any given Sunday, any given Monday or Thursday, some teams can be lined up ready to beat you if you come in too confident. Or you could come in and just not execute like you need to execute. So with that being said, yeah, the Ravens should never have been down by 19, but at the same time, it's like, those guys, play in the same league as the Ravens. With that being said, they executed what they need to execute, and they was pretty close to just downright just blowing the Ravens completely out. In fact, I'm pretty sure at the stadium, some people probably left early in that third quarter, and they was like, hey, 6 minutes left. It's probably time to leave. The Ravens probably not going to win this game. But as you know, football is a four-quarter game. So if you come in and you got to fight for all 60 minutes. Every quarter, every drive matters. All that good stuff. If you don't, then you open yourself up for a chance to have a comeback victory like what happened on Monday night. All right, so I'm gonna give you three things, or some things I liked about the Colts, because I like to talk about the Ravens, but I also want to give the Colts their credit as well. Just like I said in the Detroit and the Broncos game recap, they continue to exploit our weaknesses, and our weaknesses are in the second level with the linebacker coverage, dropping in coverage, or either the pass off communication between the safeties and the cornerbacks. So kudos to Carson Wentz and the Colts staff, offensive staff, for exploiting those matchups early on and often. A lot of people want to lay blame to Anthony Averett and Patrick Queen because those guys are kind of easy targets, because that's what's been going on in the Ravens fan base and so forth. But collectively, everybody was getting beat. Everybody was getting burned. They was missing tackles. Communication wasn't there. And I just think, I don't know if the defense came in super confident about their game plan or what they just thought they could do, or the Colts didn't have, everybody in the lineup. And they just felt like, hey, because we played them close last year, we should have them figured out, so we should be able to move the ball up and down the field. We should be able to stop them, and so forth and so on. But that's not the case. You still have to play sound defense. You still have to play sound offense as well. You still have to do what you're supposed to do when it comes down to your particular team's game plan on offense and defense. The other thing that I like that they did, they involved all their running backs. Yeah, those guys all didn't get 10 carries, but we've seen everybody. We've seen Naeem Hines, we've seen Marlon Mack, we've seen every running back they have. They're a three-headed monster. And so with that being said, I look for the Colts, if they ever could to turn their defensive situation around, meaning that they don't have the depth, they have too many injuries. If they ever can get their healthy, they get healthy, I think they can be a formidable opponent in the AFC, especially because their division, outside of I think it's the Titans, they could easily contend for the division, even at 1-4. They hit a hot streak, they can contend for that division very easily. So, and then the last thing I want to give them their props on is they made the Ravens work downright. Period. They did. The record didn't indicate their effort. The Colts played hard. They thought they would come in and spoil the Ravens party when it comes down to coming back to Baltimore. And a lot of people like to read into the hey, Baltimore leaving in the middle of the night, going to Indianapolis and so forth. Those things matter and so forth. But at the same time, I don't think there's any kind of like love lost between the fans or anything like that. But you do have to have that aspect when it comes down to, hey, is this our revenge? We're trying to get on the Colts every time we play them. We want to beat them no matter what. Yeah, maybe so to some of the older crowd and so forth. To me, I do think that's a little bit of extra motivation if you want to have any, because hey, these guys essentially took our team and some of our records and stuff that we have, and now we had to come up with the Ravens. But at the same time, I look at it as, hey, it's a blessing. It's a blessing for us because we won multiple times, multiple Super Bowls. So I think it sucked that we lost our team, but at the same time, I would not replace any other team with the Ravens or what the Ravens have built their legacy on to this point. So cool. Now, for to go to the Ravens part. First thing with the Ravens, I'm gonna give 3 goods and 3 bads. The 3 good things that I like. Well, no, let me retract. I'm gonna go back to the bad because I probably want to end on a good note. So the bad is we have to continue to generate pass rush. We can't go season after season with no pass rush. I'm not asking for 10 sacks a game. I am asking for a consistent pass rush to where we can get home. The Colts' line was banged up, and they basically put together a makeshift offensive line, and the offensive line did very well against our defense when it comes down to the pass rush. So I think we have to be a little bit more effective when it comes down to when to send them, where to send them, and how often we're going to do it. And then when you do it, we can't allow that quarterback to step up, move around, and avoid our sacks. We got to get him. We got to get him to the ground. And we almost had that one where they called the horse collar with Justin Houston, which I didn't agree with, but whatever. It is what it is. The next one is the secondary play. Secondary play is kind of like they're just running down the field to stay with the receivers. They're not actioning on where the ball is coming or looking back even, period. It's time to where, especially on the Pittman play, that the ball was thrown way up in the air. If Avery just comes back and he turns around, and he also had Marlowe back there, if they was able to communicate that really quickly, say, hey, look, the ball's coming short, let him know to turn around. If he turns around, that's probably an interception. Probably not a Moss. Probably not a Moss play. Probably an interception. Because that's the reason why you get the pass interference calls, is because when they throw the ball up and you're just running, and you just stick your hands up like this and just keep running forward towards the receiver. If it's underthrown, all the receiver has to do is collision you, and then look like they want to attempt to catch the ball. But guess what? That's a pass interference. But if you're not turned around, right, they get a chance to see it because they're already looking at the ball. So they just adjust to it. Now you on Sports Center. They make a catch, pass interference. 9 times out of 10 is probably going to be a touchdown because once again, you're at a disadvantage because you can't see the ball. You're probably falling down trying to catch back up with them, and it's just no good for you. And then the last thing is, I would really like for us to continue to give our running backs opportunities. I got it. We got 3 running backs, 3 vet running backs, and so forth. But that still doesn't mean we shouldn't continue to give them opportunities. This particular game, I've seen them trying to put everybody in the game and let them get rolling. I also think they need to put a little bit more emphasis on how to run the rock when it comes down to our particular system. Because there's some times to where we are trying to expand it and run to the outside, and we don't necessarily need to run to the outside because that's where the help is. A lot of people are playing the Ravens for that. They basically crowd the box at pre-snap, and then they kind of expand. They kind of expand. If you're basically going to do a draw play, hey, okay, look, got it. We're running it up the middle, but once we get it up the middle, if everybody vacates it, then hey, we don't need to bounce it. We don't need to bounce it. We need to go where the open space are, or what we call so-called hats. So we have 6 or 7 hats going into the box. They vacated. There's only 5 hats in there after the snap. Then guess what? We probably need to stay in there, running through there to gas them. So once we gas them like that, they tend to come out of that particular motion of, hey, after the snap, we vacate the middle. Now they got to make sure, hey, we stay home. So when they stay home, now we get a chance to see those Lamar Jackson throws over the top and so forth. All right. So the good is our offensive line. We did good with what we had. We lost some guys. We lost Cleveland last night, but for the most part, our offensive line held their own against the Colts. Now I know they had some injuries along the defensive line, but we cannot take it away from what they did with Lamar, his big game that he had. 6 incompletions, over 400 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and Lamar tried all night not to run. You guys seen it. There was a time, he could have just kept running, and towards the end of the game, I want to say it was the last drive that we had. He went for, I think it was 3rd or 4. He ran the ball. He ended up getting like 12 yards, but he could have definitely got more than that. He kind of just pulled up, like, all right, I got the first down. Let me get down, and then we'll go from there. So shout out to the offensive line for being ready to play and battling through that adversity. The next people, the good things is Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown getting back to what they're accustomed to, or what they could be, maximizing their potential tonight. Both of those guys getting 2 touchdowns was everything. The reason why I say it was everything because that's a shot in the arm for their confidence. So now they realize, hey, look, we are the 2 alpha dogs in this receiving group. I got it. We have a Sammy Watkins on the roster. We have a Rashad Bateman. But if we're going to be of any kind of success, Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews typically go in and do the dirty work, the hard work. Rashad Bateman, is what he could be. He's not there yet. He's a rookie. But once he comes in and proves, hey, okay, look, I can do this at this level too, not just in practice, not just in preseason or whatnot, then I'd say, all right, maybe he can take some of that away from Hollywood. Sammy Watkins, if he can stay healthy, we can put him in that category too, because he has been probably the most effective with the Hollywood drops and the Mark Andrews inconsistencies and so forth. So if I had to put it, who's the motivator of the group? Got it. Sammy Watkins all day, every day. No questions asked. And then the last thing is I want to give a shout out to the coaching staff, because one thing that we crucify our coaches on, especially the last couple of years, is offensive play calling, clock management, personnel management. when to do certain things. We didn't see any of that become an issue, especially once they got down. Most of the times, there were some boneheaded plays, and I'll be honest with you, one of them felt like it was going to be boneheaded play with not kicking the field goal, going for the 2 early on in the game. I just thought you should have just took the extra point, kicked the extra point, and then if we were forced to go for 2, okay, I got it, go for 2. Then I got it. Harbaugh's an analytical guy, and my thing is, hey, take the for certain points until we need the 2s. We're not gonna go down with the, hey, okay, look, let me just go for 2 every time because the analytics are telling me to, or for whatever reason I think, hey, if I get 2 2-point conversions, I'm good to go with that particular deal. The one thing you cannot factor in is what the other team is going to get. So you have to sit and say to yourself at all times, all right, I need the points. I need the points. You get the points, and then we could talk about it later. Because had the Ravens not got the defensive stops or controlled the Colts to go 3 and out on a couple of those possessions, that it could have been end up losing by 1 point because of, hey, we want to go for the 2 when we don't really need it at that particular time. Now, I know that may seem a little petty to some of you guys, but me, being a coach, I always try to take the points. And I trust my defense. I trust my defense to do their part to, hey, okay, look, if my defense limits them to 12 points, me as offensive coordinator, I got to do my part and get those 12 points back. If my defense can hold them to 12, I get my 12. All right, now we're at a 0-0 game, and now those other things come into play to where, hey, can I steal a possession? And if I can steal a possession, now we go from there. And then that's why I come in with I got my 12, defense got their 12, we stole a possession, now we got to capitalize. And then that's how I work it to where I feel like, hey, okay, look, every decision I did was for the better of the team to win this game, not take chances when we don't really have to do it. But other than that, and that's my particular recap of the game with the 3 goods and the 3 bads for the Ravens and the Colts. And look, the last thing I'm going to say, I'm tired of the Lamar Jackson slander. I'm not watching no more of the Stephen A. Smiths, any of those guys that are going to not give Lamar Jackson a fair shot, because these are the same guys come playoff time. If Lamar Jackson wins a game, they're going to be all over him. Oh, the Baltimore Ravens are Super Bowl favorites because of Lamar Jackson. You guys got to understand, the media says things to get a rise out of some of y'all. And they get y'all up in arms because they say, oh, Lamar Jackson is this. He's not this. He's that. Or he's this. Or he's this. He's not this. He can't do that. He can't do this. At bottom line, watch the game. You know your players as you watch the games more than they do. The thing about it is Lamar Jackson played his tail off last night. And he won us the game, which is cool. So what we need is to continue to support them and to kind of drown out as much of the noise of the media as we can, and just get behind this team and roll until they can't roll no more. Because most teams with these type of injuries would have already been packing in mentally, saying, "Hey, look, we just don't have a chance. We don't have the arsenal. We don't have the remaining weapons. We just might as well just go ahead, pack it in, get healthy, and then come back next year." The Ravens don't have that mentality, or if they do have that mentality, I haven't seen it. They continue to fight, and they want to persevere and get through this season and see where we end up. And right now, it's looking a little magical. Hopefully, we can keep riding it. And I know we're going to continue to stumble at some parts of the game, may take some lumps and some losses in the near future. But at the same time, don't stop supporting this team. So until then, we'll see you guys in the next one. And peace. Y'all have a good one.